Welcome to Omen Exitio Plague. I probably butchered that. My name is City, and we're trying out this game. Now, I got this game because I played visual novel before. Said I'd be willing to do more, but a different style. This game fits the bill. And in fact, there's a YouTube channel called Extra Credits, which I will link to below, that gave me the idea to play this game from one of their videos. So, let's get started. I've tried recording this before. The audio didn't turn out well, so I'm going to know about the first 40 minutes of the game. Just so you guys know. Okay. The rigging rustling in the wind and the swaying waves accompany you as you walk on the ship's deck. A rocking that evokes a slight sense of nausea, the wood groaning faintly with your every step. As if something inside of it wanted to scream, but was too weak to do so. A journey. A long journey. Your ship is headed for Zanzibar. How long have you been at sea? You cannot even remember. The days follow one another, never changing. It feels like living in endless haze, dazed and captured by the outline of those unknown waters. But all in all, you don't mind the feeling. After all, you are here to forget. Your name is Jake Huntington. You are a doctor, a researcher, or at least you were proud to be one before an entire world crumbled upon you. You have always thought to save people's lives, but now you face a different battle where you have to kill. Such is the irony of fate. You enlist in order to escape from yourself, and above all else from the pain. You look out to sea, wondering whether this ship could carry you far enough. Reality seems suspended during sea travel. Time loses all meaning and extends infinitely, just like the blue expanse spread out before you. Day after day, you've been watching the horizon ahead, bobbing up and down, when... Okay. Just so you guys know, when it comes to reading dialogue, most of the time I'll probably just read it normally, because I've tried to do voices. I can't do it. But sometimes you might see a little bit there. Jake, remind me again why we're here. It feels like all this water has wiped my memory. That voice belongs to Ed O'Bannon, a blonde Irish boy. He can't be much older than 16. Just like every other evening, he's had a drop too much. He blames the long voyage for his memory lapses. So do we ignore him? Or do we talk to him? I feel like we should talk to him. That's what I did last time. And might as well do it again. O'Bannon, I've never understood why they're sending it over to this godforsaken, to this forsaken island on the other side of the world. And let me tell you, I don't even care. All I know is that tomorrow we'll be there at last. With these words, you leave Ed to his goddamned Irish songs, and you head below deck. It's time to sleep. You're lying in your bunk, and just like every other night, for the best part of a year, you're having a hard time falling asleep. You toss and turn in your sweat-soaked sheets until... Jake, are you asleep? It's Ryan Vespucci, the man in the bunk next to yours. He is the assistant cook, hailing from Italy. Suddenly you remember that tomorrow it's your turn in the ship's mess. So we can avoid him or let's do him? I say you might as well listen. What is it, Ryan? I left you a list of provisions we need in the galley tomorrow. I want to talk to you about something else as well. I've been hearing rumors among the soldiers, but maybe we should just discuss the matter tomorrow. Good night, Jake. The dorm is filled with heavy breathing and the loud snoring of your comrades. Apparently, everyone is sleeping soundly except for you. Turning over in your bed, you find the note Ryan left under your pillow. So do we read it today? Or do we read it tomorrow? Well, it could be important, so I would read it now. Candlelight flickers in the dark, and the words come to life and dance before your eyes, while your pupils get used to the faint light of the wavering flame. Jake, you think you joined the army to atone for your sins, but you're mistaken. You're not headed for Zanzibar by chance. What you will see over there will change your perspective so much that you will turn to your old profession once again. And during this journey, you will find out you have a friend. Well, it's not Ryan's list. You wonder if it's an odd prank by your comrades, but it seems too clever for them. While considering several theories, you finally slip into a slumber, gently rocked by the waves. It won't be long until the landing, but this doesn't mean you can escape kitchen duty. Ryan hands you a bag of potatoes to peel, while he starts working on a bunch of carrots, slicing them with skill and accuracy second to none. None that you've known, at least. Alright. So, I usually do... Yeah, I did wishes last time. Do I ask him... Did he really want to be soldier, or are there other reasons? Or do I ask him how long he's been in the army? This doesn't seem with much detail. I want a little more detail from him. So that's why I'm doing wishes. Are you asking me if I joined the army out of passion? Well, I wouldn't say so, but the pay is good and meals are guaranteed. Besides, it doesn't seem to me that you're here out of passion either. Is it that obvious? Don't worry. Apart from some fancy officers, I'd bet few people are here just for fun. Shouts coming from the deck interrupt your chatting. Land ahoy! Do you hurry up and carry out your task before landing? Zanzibar port is a racket. Sailors yell in a wide variety of accents while goods are unloaded onto the docks, piling up in small mountains of crates. You are on the deck, observing the slowly approaching shapes of Stone Town, which is still a very uncreative name. And I bet you this is a real town. Because there's just so many unrealistic... Like, it's like when they were colonizing, they couldn't come up with good names for towns. It's like, so Stone Town. Soon at last, you will once again set foot on solid ground. You're granted from some free time, so you treat yourself to stroll around town. You're walking along the quay when a beggar approaches you. His rough hooded tunic covers his face. He reeks and walks with a limp, leaning heavily on a stick. Even though you don't understand what he's saying, you understand from his gesture that he's asking for charity. Help or avoid him? Well, I'm not going to say that I did avoid. I'm not going to say what the result is, because I'm pretty sure the result's the same either way. But I was going to tell you, I was reading this. The reason I picked avoid, he seems suspicious. It's like, okay. He's leaning heavily on his stick, walking with the limp. Like, there's just so much. And it just feels like the whole leaning heavily on a stick ploy is fake. Because a lot of, like, you see it in movies. Where they, like, steal your stuff because they make you think that they can't run away. But, really, they don't actually need the stick. So I picked avoid. You choose to ignore him, then act like you didn't even see him, passing him by. The beggar tries to get your attention and follows you. He grabs your shirt, forcing you to stop. Slips his hand into your pocket, then suddenly starts running. His apparent disability is gone, and he's no longer limping. See what I tell ya. We can let him go or chase him. I'm just gonna let him go. He's not worth it. You check your pockets. The only thing missing is the strange message you found placed at Ryan's list. Why did that man steal it? He probably thought it was money. You're still confused about what just happened when Ryan approaches you on the dog. Jake, the hell are you doing? Leave's over. We've been called to muster. You follow the half Italian to the dock of your ship. Troop is examined and soon makes its way to headquarters. You march the squadron you were assigned to, lost in your thoughts. You expect an entirely different welcome from Zanzibar. I figure that's like a chapter, because I have to continue now. And it saves the game. So I think at the end of every chapter it saves. Wake up! Everyone on their feet! Quick! You open one eye followed by the other. You feel the slow swaying of the sea and that peculiar smell of the ship. Something like unwashed bodies and acrid salt which prickles your nostrils. But it is just for a moment, and within seconds you are on your feet. It is Smith, the captain of the troop, who was yelling at you in the early morning. O'Bannon groans. He is still not up, and luckily the captain is unaware of it. Cries that Captain Smith could seek a battleship on their own. Okay. So we help O'Bannon on his feet, or we just ignore him. So, I'm going to help O'Bannon on his feet, because, I mean, think of who this character. He's 16. He's a drunk. He's certainly got some issues going on. Maybe we can help him out with that. Granted, our character's got issues too. But maybe if we help him, he can help us. That's my logic anyway. Come on, O'Bannon, stop dreaming about whiskey bottles and get a move on. I'm awake, I'm awake. Your Irish friend's whiny character reminds you of a child who doesn't want to go to school. Not even my mom was this annoying. O'Bannon mumbles some more incomprehensible words, and with considerable effort, he gets on his feet, wobbling. Seems he's still drunk from last night. You'd better keep an eye on him, to prevent him from getting a severe scolding and a flagrant punishment. You are outside waiting for the training to start. O'Bannon is next to you, still sleepy. After weeks of travel, Smith fears you have all gone too soft. Looking at the men in your row, the doubt seems to be entirely valid. You can see the disorientation and sleeplessness on their faces. The air is filled with sand, and your boots sink into the mud. The view is desolate, except for some isolated shacks. Smith is explaining the details of this morning's training with a cracked, rasping voice. You are distracted by the view. The weariness from your journey makes his speech hard to follow, and you end up missing parts of it. But you are sure you are not the only one. No one can get used to this new situation due to the brevity of the captain's speech. You hesitate for a moment, but Smith breaks the silence with an unyielding command shouted aloud. Come on, move, ladies, until you are well awake. Okay. Now, we have to decide, are we going to try and lead? Help Ed, save energy, or outrun? Now, you see with skills now, observation, speechcraft, lighting, and medicine. Those are over here. So, let's go over those real quick. Fighting helps you face your enemies, includes unarmed combat and abilities firearms. Observation allows you to notice details that are normally ignored by most people. It can help you find useful clues. Medicine is useful for treating your companions and yourself, but it can also be used offensively. If you know where to hit to do more harm, you do not need brute force. Agility. It helps you jump, run, and dodge enemy hits. Thus, take advantage of speed in combat rather than force, but also to escape quickly if necessary. And then Speechcraft. Speechcraft allows you to persuade and intimidate those in front of you, obtaining information and manipulating their actions. Words at times are much more effective than any weapon. Okay. So the build I'm going to go for, because I feel like it's 2 major stats and 1 minor. So I'm going to have Speechcraft and Observation as my majors. Because, I mean, it's about persuading and intimidating people. With Speechcraft, Observation might make it where we'll have clues on what to say to them or something like that. And then Medicine, keep companions alive. I think that's a good idea. So, Speechcraft first, and then Observation, then Medicine. So, help Ed. You stay next to O'Bannon and try and help him. O'Bannon limps at the back of the group. Ed, you better pull yourself together quickly, or we'll be in trouble. Don't worry, Jake. If I don't collapse gasping for breath, this race will wash the hangover away. Once you arrive at the boot camp, you must crawl through the mud and overcome several grueling obstacles. Climbing walls, barbed wire, and thick tires. This time, no one waits for Smith to start barking orders. You all dive onto the ground for the next exercise. You take a breather to try and figure out how O'Bannon is doing. In his current condition, you are worried he will end up sinking into the mud and suffocate. Concerns turned out to be well-founded. You see O'Bannon trying to slip out to catch his breath. Fortunately, he ends up lying down, his face right in the muck, in the middle of the training path. O'Bannon, keep doing that, and I will put you in isolation. Good job, Vespucci. I think that you need to work harder. Smith surely isn't generous with his encouragements. You try to clean yourself up as fast as possible. Your clothes are wet and heavy, not exactly ideal for your next task. Climbing a palm tree as quickly as possible, picking a coconut, and climbing back down. Preferably one piece. So selfless again. And I want to help O'Bannon out. Seems like he needs it. So no Speechcraft. I appreciate your comradeship, Tundig 10, but I want to see your coconut all the same. You nod, helping O'Bannon to sit on the ground, then carry out your task. You try not to show any annoyance or irritation towards Smith. You deliver a coconut and get back to your mate. It is time for the gun test. Smith examines you quickly with grave glances, while a soldier hands you a rifle. The task is simple. You need to hit the target. So, we can try going another Speechcraft. And I think it's better for these free stats to get as many as you can in 1 or 2 categories. Because it's cheaper. Because it costs 30 for an upgrade versus 10. So you're basically saving points if you focus. Okay. So let's get Speechcraft. You shoot a rifle and encourage O'Bannon to imitate you, trying to be convincing enough. You shoot quickly and return to Ed, who is clearly in trouble due to alcohol still in his system. You get close enough to let him hear you, and you talk with a reassuring voice, which takes all your patience. After a couple of seconds of O'Bannon staring at you, vacantly and lost, the Irishman gets down to work, and he shoots reasonably well. At least he managed to shoot. After the shooting range, Smith takes you to a large, flat, dusty area. In front of you, there are a series of worn-out cannons. Smith wastes no time pairing off the men to cooperate both in both the maintenance and actual use of the cannons. Probably wants to test your teamwork skill. You flames to a pair of O'Bannon, who joyfully comes to you, stumbling a bit.